This is Beach Talk Radio.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Mean Gene. Mean Gene. The following will be a test of the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
Ladies and gentlemen, broadcasting live from the Margaritaville Terrace on Fort Myers Beach, 100 feet from the Gulf of America. Here are your award-winning social media superstars, the hosts of Beach Talk Radio, Kim and Ed Ryan.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you all for coming to Margaritaville on National Margarita Day. Did you all know it was National Margarita Day? The people from Detroit have turn on your microphone, dear. Turn it on.
You should make sure everything is on before I get up here.
As long as your hair is fabulous, I apologize for not making sure your microphone works.
This is pretty good hair weather, I gotta say.
How about today's weather, everybody? Could be the nicest day so far this season. Yeah. So today is National Margarita Day, and we were hoping to get somebody from Margaritaville on the show. They have this passport thing going on here where you go to different places and get it's $50 for the passport, and you get a margarita. I think it's here, and it's at JWB. It's at 5 different places. So when Ashley comes over, she's going to explain everything that's going on with that. That's a
lot of margaritas.
Yeah. So do you want to fill everyone in real quick how your visit went with your daddy?
Yeah, no, it was good. We celebrated his birthday. We went out to Olive Garden. That's his place. And then we went hiking early in the day, and everybody had a good time. I will say the traffic in Orlando, it took me 4 hours. By the time I hit.
You should have rode your e-bike.
So on the way up, you always hit traffic in a certain spot, but the traffic started earlier, and I was like, what's going on? What's going on? Well, they had some guy pulled over in the emergency lane, and I think what happened was he was trying to cut traffic, and there he is in handcuffs, and I'm rolling down at him because that is why we're all held up. And so by the time I hit 429, because everything's a toll road up there. You'll drop some money up there. It was 85 the rest of the way.
Yeah. So it took you as long as it took you to get from here to Orlando, it takes people to get from the South Bridge to the North Bridge to get off the island. So
in 4 hours, I used to make it from Philly to upstate New York. I went through 2 states, and I'm thinking I haven't even moved through the middle of this state.
So we have people visiting from Detroit, Michigan. Thank you guys for coming from Michigan. Where are you staying?
Canada.
Where are you guys when you stay? Tropical Sands. That's right. All the way on the south end. And they came down. They didn't come down to see us, dear. They came down because they wanted to see.
No one would come down to see us.
They came down, except for Dave and Julie, how you insult them like that. They were hoping to see some.
These guys, I know.
The Doreen and Perry Hansen. Now they're kind of mid-island.
The husband of the botfly remover.
Ed Schoonover is only here because his wife's still in Africa. So
she's removing botflies from dogs' paws. Yes.
Does anyone here know what a botfly is? What is a botfly? It's
disgusting, and you don't want it burrowing in your body.
Do they have it here in Florida? It's only in Africa. Now, where are you guys from?
I don't know if it's only in Africa.
Where are you guys from? Southern Indiana? Louisville. Very nice. So where are you staying when you're here? Windward Point. So they're open now. Windward is.
You said Indiana, right?
Yeah.
You're not driving on the beach because we've had some Indiana people driving on. Okay.
Most of the dumbasses that drive on the beach are from Indiana for some reason, or New York. So no. The last week is the news has been mostly about the tram and e-bikes. Nobody could give 2 shits about whether there's going to be a new town manager. They only care about e-bikes and the tram. Now, and Santini Plaza. Now, I have bad news for everybody that came here to see folks from Santini. While the Santini Plaza is moving along as quickly as possible, our original guest was from the I'm forgetting the name of the place.
Licks.
No, that was a backup guest. Jungle Juice. Now the Yoni, I think his name is going to put a place called Jungle Juice in Off the Hook. His place is going to be in Off the Hook, which I guess is a bait and tackle a big major, gigantic bait and tackle store. Well, he is going to put that in there, but he had to cancel because everybody's trying to get prepared down there. And so this show is in the middle of when everyone gets prepared. So we postponed him until maybe a week or two out. And then I called the Sweet Licks guy because Jim Adderholt last week, if you watch the Sunday show, he said the Sweet Licks ice cream guy is like days from opening. The guy is.
And Jim gave a full review of everything.
And a full ad for every single business, the 30-minute ad for every business. So I called the Sweet Licks guy last night, and he said he was gonna come on. So I was like, all right, people just want to hear about Santini Plaza. So at least we have him come. We have somebody coming on from Santini Plaza. And 5 minutes ago, he texted that he can't make it. Something happened. He's getting last minute stuff. They're getting ready. I don't want anyone to think that anything is happening where they're not going to open. They just can't. I don't think anybody wants to get in that traffic, to be honest with you. So just ride your e-bike on the sidewalk next time you're on the show and everything will be fine. So they will be on the show. They will be open. They might be open before they come on the show, which is fine too. We just want to promote everybody that goes into Santini Plaza. And but the one thing I want to report about, I
think you should go on the tram and do a walk around. You should do a tram around.
Yeah.
I should do a tram around.
You know, the thing about the tram that irritates me a little bit is that everybody says they want the beach to go back to the way it was, or they want it to be beach vibey. There's nothing more beach vibey than a tram going up and down the streets, picking up people for free, all
I know,
along
but
Syrup
you and
Boulevard.
I talked about I don't think most people understand that it's free.
Yeah, I think there needs to be better promotion about it's free. It does only ride from the library to Bowditch, which is the way it goes now. It goes down to Wahoo Willie's, but it's free. I mean, and if anybody thinks that the tram is holding up traffic, there's no traffic on Estero Boulevard going faster than 10 miles an hour right now, and the thing only runs during season. So
that's why you need to get on your e-bike.
Yeah, we're going to ask.
You can't do that on the sidewalk. You can't go that fast on a sidewalk.
Tomorrow, we're going to ask Scott Safford, who's our guest. Wait a second. Somebody, yeah. There are people that ask why it doesn't go to the south end. And that's a good question. I mean, we should ask the county that. I think that has to do with cost. If I remember, that came up in the past. The tram is free to Fort Myers Beach taxpayers, so to speak. It's paid for by Tourist Development Council money. So that it doesn't come out of the town's budget, but I know everybody pays taxes. So I want to make sure I'm clear about that. It doesn't come out of the town's budget. Well, no, you're not paying for it. It's the TDC money. So if you go to a hotel or you stay at a vacation rental,
it's the visitors.
That are paying for it. So yeah, I mean, everybody's paying for it. If we're being honest, everybody's paying for it. I think that's a good question for maybe David Mullica or somebody, maybe Brian Hammond. Where we're thinking about trying to get Brian Hammond on the show to see if it goes from here all the way to the south end. Though you really need two.
Yeah.
I mean, you need two, and I think that's going to be a cost thing because right now. It used to be a tram. Now it's a pickup truck with a trailer on the back, right? I mean, I don't know what's better or something, but it's a pickup truck.
You could get away with two, maybe a little bit smaller capacity.
Yeah. I mean, it's not always full, but I still think it belongs on the beach. But what do I know? I don't live on the beach, and people remind me of that.
Maybe a horse-drawn carriage.
Yeah. Or something, or some kind of carriage on the beach, some kind of horse and buggy on the beach.
Bag to collect the
poop.
The poop bag.
Yes. Okay, so we have an excellent show lined up for you folks. If you are doing any kind of rebuilding or anything on the beach and you need advice, we have the two smartest people that are helping folks, not only in Fort Myers Beach, but in Southwest Florida. You see them commenting and sponsoring all the stuff that we do. And we thought, let's try and have both these guys on the show at the same time. From Studio AD, Albert D'Ambrose, and from Michael Stewart, engineering and structural. He's a structural engineer, and he'll explain everything he does. Michael Stewart, big hand for both these guys. Yeah, they're great. And if you have any questions about anything going on with your condos or your business building or your home building,
how are you?
This is the freest advice you're ever going to get with two of the smartest guys on the planet when it comes to that. Michael Stewart, how are you?
Good morning. Thank you for having
Yes, let's make sure there. I think his needs to be turned on. I don't know why they're turned off. There we go. Perfect. There we go. Michael.
Hello.
We need an engineer on this show.
There we go. You're all good
How
now.
many engineers to turn the microphone on?
So, Michael, tell everybody what your business is all about first. Start it off with that.
Okay, so I'm Michael Stewart, PE. I'm a structural engineer. Primarily what we do is anything you need a building permit for, you need an architect or an engineer. I focus mostly on, we do some new construction, but the last few years it's been like just hurricane repairs and hardening structures for the flood code. We either elevate them or we'll somehow to mitigate to get the living space above flood so FEMA doesn't apply anymore, which is a bigger and bigger issue right now. Do a lot of structural repairs just for anything happen, fire damage, car hits a structure. We also do MEP engineering for commercial buildings, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, things like that.
Now, where are you from? What's your background?
I was born and raised in this area. I went to Cape Elementary School. I went to
Really?
Trafalgar Middle, graduated Mariner High, class of 2001, and I got my bachelor's at UCF, class of 06.
Nice. I think everybody thought you were older. Not that you look older, but that they just envisioned an engineer as an older person. How old are you?
I'm 42.
Oh my God, you're a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I started young in this field. I had a larger firm, Atlas Design Engineering. I sold that in 2017 and kind of semi-retired, and just have a handful of hand-selected clients at the time. And I've been doing that. I look much older than I am.
No, you don't, though. No, you don't.
I do.
You don't.
How old do you think I am?
You got the whole
I'm not going to ask.
young vibe outfit
You
going.
think so?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
so, Albert, tell everybody that doesn't know.
Listen, first of all, you are rocking those sunglasses,
Yeah,
sir.
what kind of questions
These
are
are
you going to ask
$5
these
in
people
Key
today?
West.
Holy Christmas.
Really? Wow.
I break all the good glasses, so I might as well get $5 ones and break them.
Very fly.
How much were your
Okay.
glasses, by the way?
These were like $5.69 at Bell's on sale.
She's never paid more than $7 for anything that she
No.
ever wears, whether it's
Other-
glasses
well, no,
or shirts or yeah.
Anyways,
Albert, Studio AD is all about what?
Sure. Well, myself, Albert D'Ambrose, and there's 8 of us in our firm, 2 architects, and a soon-to-be registered architect intern we have working for us. We do commercial and residential. Probably the bulk of our work is commercial. About maybe a third of our workload is residential. New construction, additions, remodels, both sectors. We have a pretty diverse portfolio. We do have a lot of projects on the beach, but we also have projects around Southwest Florida. I mean, we're working on airport projects, things up in Sumter County, Key West. We have a house down in the Keys. We have projects in Fort Myers Beach, Fort Myers. Pretty diverse portfolio of what we do.
So you brought up the airport thing, and have you guys been watching the news about the Southwest Florida RSW? Like, how did that happen? Like, how does that go over budget by hundreds of millions of dollars and it's damaged?
I did a few small project RSW. The way it kind of works is that once a capital project goes up there, I think it's $250,000. It goes to the big part of RSW. We were doing a gate project on RSW about 4 years ago to get access to the gate security checkpoint. And that started off with, I think, $250,000 to build a project. It swelled to over $1.5 million when it went up to the upper level. We were only dealing with 2 people, which I like small client interaction, one-on-one. Once it got to over a certain budget, you went to the main office in the second floor RSW.
Yeah.
15 people walked in.
Wow. They need Elon Musk. They need Elon Musk to come to the airport. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
you get big, you have a lot of overhead.
I can say in my experience with them, we did some work at RSW also, and there's several entities you have to deal with. The Port Authority governs the airport itself, so that's like one entity. And then we also had to deal with the federal government, the GSA at the time, General Service Administration. And honestly, the bureaucracy that you have to deal with is like insane. Also, when they release the job out to bidders and things, they're always looking for like disadvantaged business, like women-owned business or like veteran-owned business like that.
Like DEI.
Yeah, and some of these people don't have the experience. So like, for example, on my job, somebody came in and bid like around $250 or something for that. They went in there and they bid it. They built it just for the plan. Everything was fine. But the government inspectors come in and like with these regulations that weren't on paper, they just like on a whim and they put that up to the people and they have to redo things a couple of times. And just I would say like so much bureaucracy in there, and it's just too many cooks in the kitchen, and it's unmanageable.
So that sounds like the pier. There's way too much bureaucracy.
There's too
for
many.
that.
There's too many approvals or permits. Anyway, so Michael, I wanted to ask you both. I joke about it because of who was involved in it, and you guys have probably seen or heard me joke about it. But how does a house fall
for the
down?
Love of God.
Now, please explain. Not because I'm trying to pick on somebody, because I don't want that to happen to anybody. I feel so bad for the Davidsons that their house fell down. I'm happy they weren't in it when it fell down. But how does that happen, and how do you avoid it?
Okay, so for a house to fall down, it takes a comedy of errors, like from the beginning to end. So our building codes are so strict that it needs to be a catastrophic failure for something like that to happen. It starts with the design and the permitting. You got to have really good design. You got to know what you're doing. You got to be really experienced at that thing. And then the next level of oversight is the municipality reviewing those plans. And then you have the contractor that needs to have integrity, that builds to the plans. And you need your design team, like engineer, architect, to also have integrity. When they see things in the field, they can't just be like issuing letters saying, it's okay, no matter what you did, it's okay. And that, in my opinion, is why that happened. And that's a repetitive problem out here.
And as architects, we're, it's always not just about the floor plan elevation. We're involved heavily during construction. I mean, we just have weekly OAC meetings at the beach bar, commercial bottle meeting projects, and OAC is owner, architect, contractor. And that's all three parties working together to make sure everything, the more eyes you have in the project, better. So even on our residential project, we use the same strategy. The houses that we have done on the beach and the ones that we're still under construction moving forward, we're involved during construction. All those projects, we are asked for referrals for contractors, and we give them referrals of people that we've known and trust over years that have been doing it over 20 plus years. If there's someone to bring to the table that I don't know, we help thoroughly research them to find out whether or not they're getting in a good relationship with them or not. So it's all about doing the research, getting referrals, look at our past clients, talk to your architect, who do you know in the area that has done a good job and who has done a bad job as well too. And then sometimes the things you just honestly Google searches nowadays, you just look online, you can look at lawsuits and things that are nature, foreclosures, bankruptcies, and you can kind of see who's in financial trouble ahead of time. Yeah. And you put it all together, you make an informed decision, Yeah.
So. And so one of the things that the state has allowed is these third-party inspectors. If you don't think the municipality is moving along fast enough, you can hire a third-party inspector, and they're supposed to follow the same rules the town's head inspector or whatever they're called does, and they're still. And then the theory is the town would accept that, or the city, the municipality would accept that. But if you have a third party inspector that's in cahoots with the contractor and they're not really following the rules, then
are third party inspectors in general a good idea?
We use them a lot on the commercial side.
Okay.
A lot. There are good ones, just like in every profession, whether you're a doctor, dentist, lawyer, architect, engineer. There are good people, and then you always got the sliver of people that are always on the dark side, and they're going to ruin it for everybody else. So there are private providers that I know that we will never, ever tell a client to hire, that is the worst one they ever use.
Do you want to put them out here right now? No, just kidding.
Name names. I mean,
I'll email you privately who they are.
We really want people to avoid. Do you know you know what people are emailing me now?
There's advantages, disadvantages. For some parts of time, like counties and municipalities were taking a long time getting permits, inspections, schedule inspections, and that's where they kind of fill in the gap. An extreme example of positiveness: if you're trying to build an interior remodel, like say in a busy shopping center, and you got to be done over the weekend or only work at nights, inspection is not going to happen. So you private provider, they do all inspections at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and then they can reopen at night. So there's benefits for that, but there's also the dark side of things where people can be in cahoots and miss things and do those kind of bad things.
I'd like to say, so the private providers are, like, in my mind, a necessity. They're providing a great public service, for a fee. There's a lot of good aspects about that. One, to be a private provider inspector, you have to be a licensed architect or engineer. You can't just be somebody that took an internet course or whatever. There's all these insurance requirements you're required to have. And when you make a mistake, you're opened up to liability. The municipality has sovereign immunity. You can't sue the municipality for screwing up your inspection. I can't tell you how many times I've had an inspector sign off, a municipal inspector sign off on a job that was negligent. I mean, I had jobs on the beach in 2024 where they didn't put any headers in, sliding glass doors meant at 16 feet on a double top plate, which
that's a big no-no.
I mean, sagging down, still got the inspection approved. So the municipal inspectors are basically deputized by the building official. They're given extra qualifications they don't really have. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm a capitalist, like a private sector guy. I don't like the bureaucracy of any of it. And these people are providing a service for a fee. They're highly trained professionals. They have insurance. Like Albert said, there's bad actors in every bunch. I haven't really encountered that many bad actor, definitely not nefarious, on the take private providers.
Well, obviously, with the Davidson building, there was some nefarious bad acting going on.
All of the players in that building probably are bad actors. Like that's everybody, a breakdown at all levels. And I don't know like everything about that, but like I said in the beginning, for something like that to happen, it takes such a comedy of errors, so many breakdowns in the system for that to happen. And if you look at that squad on that job and you look at other jobs around that have had problems, you might see that there's the same actors.
So is there a place where people can go to see? Is there a website where people can go
FL Verify, what is it? Florida Verify My License.com. MyFloridaLicense.com. It's a government website, or it might be .gov. But you can look up anybody's name, license. You can look up ours, and you can see the complaint history on it if we have any complaints. You can do this for any architect, engineer.
Have zero.
Yeah.
No,
I
that's
also have
good.
zero.
I had no idea about that website.
Yeah, that's how, honestly, like architects and I, we always look around, like, who's the new architect in town? What's their license number? Oh, it's AR. Like mine's AR 93689. I mean, that's my serial number for my registration. I stamp and seal the drawings. It's my liability. So I look on there and see who's licensed, and there's just like every profession. Some people are impersonating architects. They're not architects, and there are people impersonating engineers and non-engineers, and you have to ask for a license. So PEs have PE license number, and we have an AR license number. Contractors have CGC numbers. That gives you a kind of a preview of who they are, but maybe not fill out all the blanks. But if you see something there already, that's kind of an immediate red flag, and that says judgment call. How to move forward.
If you could give a list of the top 3 third-party inspectors, could you put their names out there?
That are good?
Yeah. That you respect, that would do a good job for people that are looking for somebody they trust. We put people on our website or advertise with us because we trust them. When we find somebody that you can't trust, you don't want to disparage somebody, but you want to push. Now, the number one request I get is for a lawyer, because now people are 2+ years after the storm, and now they're tired of dealing with all the shit, and they just want a lawyer to help them out, which is unfortunate. But if you have names of third-party inspectors,
I could give you 3. I think Elite Services, Tatiana Gust owns that one. They're out of Naples. I don't know how often they come to Fort Myers Beach, but they'll do anything, for the right price, and they're really good, have high integrity. Steve Streeter used to be a building official at the town of Fort Myers Beach a few years ago and at Sanibel. He's since started a private provider firm, Capeside Consulting. And then also there's a bigger corporate firm, Universal Engineering. They're nationwide engineering company. These guys are corporate. They kind of pioneered the private provider thing. They were the first ones on the scene, as far as I know. And there's 3 good ones for you.
Yeah, my 2 are going to be Universal and Tatiana at Elite.
Okay.
We don't actually get involved in hiring them. The contractors hire them, and the owners are paying for it. And it depends on some basis. Like if you're building a house at Fort Myers Beach, you may not need a private provider, honestly. I mean, we're building our own house at Fort Myers Beach. We're using the town inspections.
It's gotten a lot better.
And it's like the next day, there's not a problem. So you may be paying for something that you don't really get into the benefit on.
Right, because I think since Joe, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but since Joe Speck came into the picture, things have been a lot smoother on the beach.
Yeah, I've never had any problems with inspection. It comes down to sometimes the details and the individual inspectors that are out there. But I hadn't had a problem with them having anything that are missed on our project. That doesn't mean it's not missing some project. But again, they're just another set of eyes out there. The responsibility and liability falls under the design professionals like us.
Yeah,
structural engineer, architect. I mean, I've been in like $4 million homes in Naples that inspectors sign off on windows that work for the municipality, and they're all leaking and failing. I go out there to have to write a report sometimes or figure out how they fix this thing, and their drywall screws are used. So yeah, great, they're impact rated for wind, but they're going to fly out because of drywall screws. They're all going to rust.
Yeah.
So there are municipalities, even when we did our house, we used to live in Eagle Ridge, and we had all the window sliding glass doors done. We did it correctly. Our contractor did it. We know them personally for years. They installed everything per the NOAs, per FOD approval, the right screws, the right depth, everything waterproof perfectly. Inspector just did 360 degree around the whole house, looked at one sticker, looks good. But they can't get into the details of the weeds.
The average person,
but I mean, I thought you were saying some of the projects don't need a private person. Go with the municipality, but the municipality doesn't always have the experience.
And it falls back down to the contractor, honestly. They're getting a qualified contractor and make sure they're doing everything correctly. We'll make sure that everything is being done correctly, so things aren't getting slipped through the cracks. Inspections, because sometimes
that's a lot for people to manage. Like that's why you hire somebody. Is that
you have to have representation. You have to have people on your side that did your drawings and will take you from beginning all the way to the end and just walk you through the process. If you've never done this before, there's a lot of moving parts.
And everybody on the beach is doing it right now. They're all going through all of that. You see it on every side street today.
After the hurricane, it's like everyone became a general contractor. Everyone became a developer. Everyone became so many things they didn't ever want to be, but had to be. And there's a lot of education took place. So now we are, as a community in Fort Myers Beach, everyone's a lot more like, if this happens again, this is how we would approach it. You know,
they'll be experts.
We learn by experience, basically.
And another thing though, too, you can pass a municipal inspection. These guys are checking for code items, like bullet points they're looking for. They're not checking for craftsmanship. So they can have something in there that meets the code but looks like crap, and they sign off on it, and that's totally fine because it meets the code. They're not inspecting craftsmanship. They're not inspecting things like that. So it's just you can't paint that with a wide brush. The private provider inspectors, that's a niche that is a good service that they're providing, and I feel like there is a benefit for that. It's not for everybody, but if you do have a special situation, overnight construction, abbreviated construction, a special situation that just no one can understand, private provider is a great resource.
One of the things that people need to be aware of is the permitting process. Like, people say that I haven't got a permit, but they might not know that something is waiting in the portal for them to fill out. Like, it's not on the municipality to say to the person building a house, hey, you forgot to do whatever on the permit. The resident does something, the municipality follows up, and then it's up to the resident, whoever's on the other side of that permit, to keep an eye on it.
Correct.
You're not going to get a text like you do on an Amber Alert that your permit needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
So how do you advise people to?
Well, it's back to what I said earlier. We're involved in the whole process, and we're doing the project. And I know the owners are in the contract to put in the permit on the beach. We stalk that website on their permit and see who's commenting on it, and then address those comments right away. And then if I notice, like, we have one client who submitted and they didn't pay. Well, I told them, it's like, if you don't pay, that the process doesn't start. Well, they were overseas for 3 weeks, so they didn't get an email and know about it, but now they're moving forward. And the same thing happens during the process. You'll get rejections and comments. If it's stalled, waiting for paperwork, contractors, insurances, who's a subcontractor, waiting on this, waiting on. So you kind of have to keep eyes on the whole process moving forward to make sure you're getting from the beginning to the end and your permit comes out timely. Otherwise, you can forget that you got an email or went to someone's spam folder that said, hey, by the way, we need this document. And you're just waiting. Just go on the website and look at it. It's all transparent. And Fort Myers Beach, like other municipalities, put that stuff on there. There are other municipalities you go out, you don't see any data. You just know rejected, pass. You don't have data to know what's wrong. They keep that thing kind of privately, not for purpose, but so that people don't bombard the staff with questions over and over again. But the beach is pretty transparent, all that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'll say too, a lot of it is the design professional. Like I hear the horror stories from residents. Sometimes they call me, they're like, I've been trying to get a permit for 9 months and this and that, and I can't get it through, and the town's being ridiculous. And then, which is the popular thing everybody likes to say. And then you start digging into the details and you're like, okay, well,
actually
they hired one of these bad actor design professionals like that, I'm not going to mention. And then they didn't do a good job. So they got a bunch of rejections. And then, somebody's got to go in there and fix the plans. It's not the municipality's job because they got a horrible set of plans to just approve it. And if the design professional isn't going to fix them, then they're not going to issue the permit. And the town is so small, small staff. They're personable. You can call down there. I don't know if Kendra is still there, but you could always just call and talk to Kendra. She'll get you whatever you need. There's permit expediters on this island too, like Kara Stewart. She, no relation to me. We're not related. We have to share a last name, but she's really good. She knows everybody down there.
Yeah, she doesn't work for the town, but she used to.
She used to work for the town. Now she works for herself.
Yes.
She walks through stuff through the town because she knows the inner workings of it. She knows how to expedite. It's all on the up and up, but she just knows the process. And she'll go. She's very affordable to expedite a permit, and that's also a good resource.
Yeah, and you should also realize, and I know at least one person that's listening gets it. If somebody tells you they're going to promise you that they're going to do it better and they're going to do it cheaper and they're going to do it by tomorrow, that's not always going to be the case. That might sound too good to be true, and you should really look into it.
It's true in any profession. You kind of get what you pay for in a way. The professionals are going to charge a certain way because we know what we're doing, and we can save you time and money. I mean, years ago, I remember a client, not a client, was going to be a client. We wrote a proposal for, and it was a big number because it's a big job, and they decided to find someone that was a quarter of our fee. Well, the problem with that is we probably could have gone through permitting, build everything so much faster. The rent was $35,000. They didn't open for 4 months. So that's $120,000 plus they lost in rent income. If they would have hired the right person first, they would have opened sooner and not lose that money in income. So you got to look at the full story, like what's involved with getting the thing done.
It's kind of like you hire somebody that's trying to take down the Wyndham that has one little tractor, or you hire Dave from Removal Pros and the building would have already been gone. So you get what you pay for. But
and I want to say too, I get this too, where a lot of times I'll write a proposal for somebody and they'll be like, I'm not paying that. That's ridiculous. Just for the plans. And it's like, yeah, just for the plans. Yeah, I guess. And then they do get people that are 25% of our fee a lot. I mean, this happens a lot. And then they'll get a horrible set of plans. They'll lose 8 or 9 months. You need to observe that the time value of money that you lost. Also, those plans, if they do get a permit, are probably inefficiently designed by somebody who doesn't know what they're doing, but oversizing beams and footings or undersizing them, and the building falls over.
Let me ask you guys about a specific.
Is that the biggest thing that happens? Is the footings are not the right
that job
size?
that fell over, basically, that job that fell over down there, the post base is called the ABU. It's designed to carry like something small. It's got one little pin in it, like maybe a stair thing or an air conditioning condenser platform. It's not meant for a structure. It has no lateral capacity. So if you push on it, it'll just rotate. It needs multiple connectors to like create resistance.
But how did it get that far? How did it even get that far?
A breakdown at every level. Design professional, contractor. Yeah, I don't know if that was private provider or municipality. Okay, then there. So multiple breakdowns at every level. And that's the only way something.
And now they're going to pay so much more because it looks like they're trying to lift it.
They're going to put it back.
I can't believe they're doing that.
Yeah, this is a disaster. It's not going to be right.
Wow. So
let me just ask this.
Yes.
Is kind of obtuse. How far down?
What does that mean?
How far down do you have to dig or put a footer in to raise a 17-story building?
She had to go to 17 stories. But that's a good question.
Well, it's complicated answer, but like
well, for the dummy in
okay,
me.
I mean,
in him.
deep, pretty deep, really deep, probably 65 feet or something.
Wow.
Yeah, you got to.
That's
You either
How
want
deep
to.
is the island?
That's all the way to China.
Here's the thing.
You may go in 50, 60 feet deep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't there water down there? Is it water?
Yeah,
coming
Yeah,
in?
you get a water table as soon as you get 2 feet below the sand area.
If you want to do that, you auger. You drill a hole real deep.
Oh, I know how to auger, but not that deep.
The hole's gonna want to cave in, so they fill it with a heavy slurry mud. And then they'll fabricate a rebar cage, drop it in the mud, and then put a concrete hose to the bottom of that hole and pump all the slurry out, fill it with concrete, and then do that like hundreds of times. It's a very sloppy, messy situation.
The old
Well, I
school
hope
slurry
they
wall,
got
basically.
the right inspectors and architects on that.
If somebody wanted to go see a house or something that you're working on Fort Myers Beach, give us 2 or 3 examples of people to go down. It's clearly not falling down.
Oh yeah, mine aren't. Okay, there's 3670 Estero. That's the Haka residence of Red Lake.
Oh,
the
you're
Haka
building
residence.
that.
Yeah. So great story with that guy. I did just his pool for him with his other house that was there, and the town gave us a lot of trouble with the velocity zone, and we made it real bulletproof, and that pool survived.
Yeah.
And
Dude,
he was
that
so,
was the only thing that led.
he was
that
so
survived.
impressed. He sent me like his hometown newspaper from like up north Indiana or something, where they like did a special on that pool. He hired me for his house after that. I just came from 211 Palermo Circle, built that with Cole Stinson with Vesselcraft. It's right there. It's beautiful. It's finished. It's beautiful. I just walked through it.
Wait, you're going too fast now. For anybody that doesn't know, Cole he was on the show once. He was the guy behind the raising of the fireworks money, not the fog fireworks. So fireworks before that, and it was all money from builder friends that he had that raised the money. The fireworks before that.
He asked me for money, and I was going to donate. And then he was like, "I don't need it. We already got it."
Yeah, he killed it.
Yeah,
like it was like
man.
$150,000 or something. But the Hotka house was hilarious, not because it got blown over and it looks fabulous right now. It's because when the house was gone, the only thing left was the pool, and they were hanging out at the pool, and they had people at the pool. It was like a party with a trailer out front.
Yeah.
So how do you think it survived the storm?
Oh, we designed it that way. I mean, we designed it.
That's what they do.
When you have those pools, you have to design them to withstand the velocity impact. So it's about 550 pounds per square foot on the entire face of the pool, and you got to have it so it can withstand it. It's on a deep pile foundation, deep in the ground, not 65 feet, but pretty deep.
Lots of slurry in there.
No, these are different type. They're driven piles, but because they're smaller thing. But you just design it like that.
Debbie's watching now, bragging about you about her pool. So,
oh right, okay.
Yeah. She's
Hi,
they
you.
always watch the show
Thank
or
you.
come to the show. So, Albert, by the way, if anyone doesn't know, Albert and Jim Inc. are the brains behind the new beach bar, which is killing it over there. It looks like the beach bar and the Whale. Every time I go by, the beach bar and the Whale are like, who's going to open first? But it looks like the beach bar will open first. Yes.
Yeah, it's a considerably smaller building than the Whale's built too. I mean, they're 8,000. We're 4,000.
You're on the Whale too?
Change. What's that?
You're part of the Whale too?
No, I
I
said they're
thought you said that.
larger buildings. They have a
Gotcha.
little more complexity going on. I think the trusses for the beach bar should be arriving sometime mid-March, so they'll be shaped out with the roof on it soon. So that's the beach bar for us. We have a few other commercial projects that are in design process. You've seen that one for 1901 that we shared before. There's other ones that are
By the
new.
way, for anyone that doesn't, 1901 is the old Hoosiers building across the street from Diamond Head. What's the plan for that?
That's being submitted by Jim, and if not this past week, this next week here for development orders. There's variances for that one. There's a lot of zoning stuff for that one, and then once those goes through that process, then we'll start with construction documents for that one. That's the rebuild, the existing building that looks horrible right now, but it's really just cosmetically horrible. Structurally, it's a bomb vault. Next to it, as an empty lot where the building got destroyed, it was all wood frame. I'm sure termites took that one down. That one will be all concrete bomb vault as well too, built to all our newer standards. We have a few other ones that we're working on. We have a small project on Times Square for Melly's Ice Cream to build that structure back up. That's going to be going into a development order.
That's next to the pizza place?
Next to Bella Mozzarella. It's really
Very
small
nice.
lot, 1,000 square foot lots, most cost expensive
It would
lot
be
to
nice
build
to
on.
see something going Times Square.
Yeah, and then we have various homes that we're doing. We have 537 Astaire. You walked by this morning on the right side of Astaire on the north side. That's about done. He's an owner builder from up north, or actually I'm Minnesota. I'm sorry. We have a couple in Hibiscus, 144 Hibiscus, 138 Hibiscus that are side by side. 10 Fairview, 10 Washington. Those are ones that are under construction, if not getting completed. And then we have 8 other ones that are going to be starting soon.
Nice. So I know there are varying opinions on how this rebuild is going. It's been 2 years. It's also only been 2 years after a Category 5 hurricane where every single structure on a 7-mile island was impacted in some way. How do you guys think this rebuild is going? When I walked up the whole north side today, I thought it's coming along okay.
To me, it's on par because houses always come back first because that has the least regulatory thing to deal with. You just get house design professional permit, start moving forward. Commercial is a whole other level. You have zoning, you have entitlements, you have easements, vacating easements, you have CPDs, you have all these things. You have on that side, you have DEP at 6 months. So anyone that's submitting something in a town on Times Square right now has at least a year worth of permitting and drawn time to get through. So commercial is a whole other animal as far as you have site permit, building permit, DEP permit. So you have a lot of moving parts that all can sometimes not work linearly. They have to be done, some can happen consecutively. Some have to go step 1, step 2. Some can happen side by side, but it still takes time. And so those ideas that you see that are maybe breaking ground, they started way over a year ago. Same thing with the beach bar. That was last year this time.
What would you design if you were doing Times Square?
Albert's an architect. You got to ask him this one.
Yeah, what would you design?
I think what Patrick's team put together with the composite rendering is probably the most cohesive, balanced thing to go there.
But
However,
you also know it's never going to happen.
it's not going to happen.
Yeah. It looked like Disney to me. It looked like the entrance to Disney.
It's like kind of as 7 states all work together and build one building together. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, red and blue.
You got so many property owners. They all have different financial backgrounds, different
So you
business
think
models.
everything's going to look different?
I think
Kinda
the
like
town was
patchwork.
trying
They
to
wanna
make them
rebuild.
because they asked us in our design to see if we were, wanting it to be compatible with the other ones that were. But then you have Terry's building that came out, the yellow looking building that's not going to be compatible with our building because we're kind of more tropical modern and different scale, different things. So it's really
gonna
hard,
be.
but eclectically, it'd be nice to have things
I
that are
don't
different.
think the
Maybe.
people that are
Yeah.
coming to visit Fort Myers Beach care if it looks eclectic together, or maybe that's your word is better than my word. They don't want it to all look like Disney. They want it to look
Well,
different.
everyone's gonna have different opinions.
Yeah.
My building had no color, so everyone already said I had to add color in the building.
Yeah.
So that everything needs to have color, but it's all got to work together scale wise. That's the challenge on Times Square is scale. We're all within 5-6 feet, but we got to build to 19 point something. How do you do that? There's ways to reduce that height down, but there's a process to go through.
But they need to call you two. If they want to get it done right, they should call you two and they should have a meeting.
Yeah,
with you
and I
two.
know one owner has an architect down in Naples. It's a very, very great architect down there.
No, we don't want him. We want you.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of other talented people. We can't do everything.
Michael, we're running out of time. We can go for 2 hours, but anything else you want people to know about why they should call both of you and free pitch, man, do it.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, yeah. So my thing is the number you see published on my advertisements and thing, that's my personal cell. It's in my pocket. I don't have a receptionist. You call, I answer. If you leave a message, I will call you back. There's none of that, no calling back. Personally, I'm known for just really good turnaround times. We do things really fast. I do those myself. Pamela Peralta, PE, right there works for me. And it's me and her together most of the time doing things. And I have one other drafter, Tarek, but we're small, tight-held. I've been practicing my entire life in this area, my entire career. Got my start out here on the beach with John Richard, letting me do his first buildings. And I've done all his buildings since. And
that's quite a connection there because John doesn't skimp on anything. He wants everything he does to look great, even a parking lot.
He's literally sitting on a pile of gold that he found on the bottom of the ocean. So
he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's the best. I mean,
he loves the beach.
He gave me a chance when I was right out of college. He had me do the Zushi building.
Oh,
we actually designed it for a 3-story hotel that he never, went through. But doing a lot of work for him, and he really got me my start on the beach. And also, I'd like to shout out to Graham with the goods that we got coming up. That job is coming pretty soon. It's through LPA, and we got our first development order comments on it, and that job's coming out soon too. And Cole's going to be building that one as well.
Well, I'm pretty accessible still too. I mean, we don't really have a secretary. My line is 239-292-4098. People text me, people email me, but the best way is to get a hold of me. The thing for me is it doesn't matter if I get the project for the house or commercial. If you just want to pick my brain to get an idea of the process and, what's step 1 versus step 2, I'd rather give everyone the proper advice to move forward because it does save time and money in the long run. And of course, we do both residential and commercial. So any commercial or residential work, the condos, we do a few condos right now on the island. And there's a lot of moving parts. So we like to walk everyone through that process smoothly.
Folks, we only list advertisers that you can trust, and these guys support everything we do. And so it's a great relationship that we have with Michael and with Albert. And if you have any doubts at all, please call either one of them because you're never going to be steered in the wrong direction. You know some of the names on the beach that will tell you one thing and not be able to deliver. And I'm not going to name who they are, but honest to God, we're putting our reputation all together that you can trust these guys. Yeah, whatever reputation we have. So thank you to Michael Stewart and to Albert for coming on and for everything you do for us.
Thank you.
For our two of our biggest advertisers. And right now, we want to, before we get to our friends at the Art Association, it's National Margarita Day here at Margaritaville, and my wife is going to take over for a second. I think you all know why.
Yes, I think you do know why. All right, come on. Hey. Oh, great. Have a seat. First of all, he's just like leaned over to me. He's like, you're going to do the next interview. So I'll start it off by saying, and your name is? Introduce yourself to everybody.
My name is Marin. I am the marketing director or manager here at Margaritaville.
And you've been on the show before.
Yes. Yeah.
I just have no memory. I mean, I remember faces.
I think last
but
time we were
names
talking
is-
about Jimmy Buffett Day.
There you go. And
Which
so
was a
now
big
here
one.
we are
And
again.
now we're on National Margarita Day, and we are celebrating with a margarita passport. So
First of all, let me ask you, how long has this been National Margarita Day?
that's a great question. I don't know when that was
Well, you can just make something up.
devised. Yeah,
Sorry.
probably 1985.
Okay,
back when
sounds
they,
perfect.
you know, the big margarita year.
The year of the margarita. So you have the passport.
Yes.
Tell
so
us about that.
we are selling this online right now. There's signs everywhere with a QR code, and you can go to funonfmb.com, purchase it before you get here, and then you would go to the front desk, the concierge desk in the lobby, to pick up your passport and also a cup that you get to keep. Each location is actually making their drink in a different cup, so you can keep your cup clean. But each location is doing a different margarita that they have come up with creatively between all the bartenders and everything. So it's a little bit of an internal competition between all the different locations, but you can essentially go to each location within the resort. We've got JWB Grill. We've got License to Chill right here. We've got La Di Da. We've also got Coconut Telegraph Coffee Shop, which is...
And they're going to serve a margarita.
They've got a margarita. They've got...
Is it going to have coffee in it?
We were wondering what they were going to come up with. They didn't try to like stretch it that far. They went with cool as a cucumber as theirs. So I'm looking forward to that. I've just got one stop so far. This is License to Chill's Firecracker Mango Margarita, and it's
And is it
delicious.
spicy?
It's got a little bit of spice, not like too hot, but just enough. It's really good. So I've got one passport stamp.
And so they'll stamp them. Do they all have different stamps, or is
They
it same?
They have different stamps. We kind of picked them for each one, but I just got a little guitar for License to Chill. And yeah, you don't have to go in any particular order. You can also order them from the bartender, and they can ring it up right there and give you your passport on location. You also get a cool lace. So if you really want to be festive, you get to wear that around. And
now, do they have to do all of them in one day? Is it just today?
It is. It's just today. It's 11 to 5.
People.
I suggest starting early as possible, so
And-
you're not trying to get through
eat
5 of them
before
in
you
2 hours.
start.
Garrett, thank
2
you.
hours?
No, I said you want to start early because you don't want to try to finish them all in 2 hours.
Weren't you invited to this Margaritaville
I know,
Day?
but I didn't realize we had another.
We have a
event.
lover's key thing
Oh,
tonight. Everybody wants her to be at all these special places.
Right.
And last weekend, I didn't get any invites to anywhere when you weren't here. So,
I guess that shows you.
all right.
So
Yeah.
5 margaritas in a day.
5 margaritas, and
a lot of sugar.
It's 5 margaritas for $50, so they're $10 a piece, which is a great deal, and they're excellent. The ones
Are they
I've
all
tried.
tequila? Do you know?
They
you
are.
don't?
They
Okay.
are all tequila based. We've got all the
Tequila's
ingredients
not-
at each location. They have the recipe for you. If you want it, you can take a picture of it so you know how to make it again. But it also comes with a little form to fill out. On the back side, you'll put your favorite margarita, and you can vote in any of the locations. Just write on the back which one you thought was best. And then on the other side, if you fill out
That's
your
if you can
information-
still write
Yes,
and see
if you
by the
can
time you get through
remember
5 of
and,
them.
you know. But the other side, you can fill out to enter a raffle. You could get a cabana at Fins Up Beach Club, or
Nice.
you could win 2 tickets to the Everblades game, which is coming up. It's Margaritaville night coming up the 28th.
Cool.
So,
I say go for the cabana.
yeah, that's the grand prize.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So,
All right.
Anything
Thanks for
else you
letting
want to
us
let
share.
people know?
let's see. Just a beautiful day out. I really encourage everybody to come out and enjoy the day, enjoy the sights and sounds. And we're going to have some music playing here from noon to 3. We'll have steel drum player and JWB Grill, licensed to chill, la-di-da. Also, the Welcome Cabana at Fins Up Beach Club is serving their own. You don't get to go into the pool unless you purchase a day pass, but you could do both. You could get a passport, get a day pass, and really spend the day wasting away.
Sweet.
There you go.
National Margarita Day. Anybody will come up with
Since
a day to drink.
1985.
For sure, right? I mean, all right. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Have a great day
Don't
today.
forget your passport.
All right. Before we get to our final guest of the day, everybody. Yeah. Our cool sponsors for the day. The Island Pancake House is open in the Sea Great Plaza, serving breakfast and lunch, open 7 days a week, 7:30 to 2. And they'll stay open longer if you want to have a margarita because they have a full bar. You know, nothing tastes better than pancakes and margaritas. That's why you're here on Fort Myers Beach. You're not here to exercise. That's why there's no gym on Fort Myers Beach. If you want to exercise, run in the sand. Otherwise, get up early and start drinking or have pancakes at the Island Pancake House, locally owned and operated in the Sea Great Plaza right here on Fort Myers Beach. And make sure that you say hello to Brian and Stacy. They're super nice people. And they really took a hit during the storms, but they wanted to make sure they were open for everybody on the beach. And that the Milton thing was it Milton? I get all the names. Has the list of names for 2025 come out yet? There will be no hurricanes in 2025, so don't you worry about the names. Also, Eagle Eye Aluminum is one of our sponsors. Seamless gutters is what he specializes in, as well as aluminum and vinyl soffits. If you have a pool cage, everybody needs a pool cage these days to keep the mosquitoes out. And your pool cage rips, you want to call Eagle Eye Aluminum because they will help repair your pool cage. He doesn't live on the beach, but he loves the beach. And if you come to the show on Sundays at Wahoo Willie's to see Scott Safford tomorrow, you can also say hi to Tom Coleman, the owner of Eagle Eye Aluminum. He can't hit a golf ball, but he can sure fix your gutter. Check him out, eagleeyealuminum.com, or call him 239-340-1639, 239-340-1639. All righty, our next guest is from the Fort Myers Beach Art Association, which is an organization on the beach that we love. And we wanted to squeeze Michelle in here to tell you about the bazaar that's coming up. Michelle, come on down. This will be your chair here, and you'll take microphone number 3. You have to be organized, or my wife totally screws up the whole pattern here. Michelle, how are you?
I'm very good.
Michelle,
Very good.
the Art Association has had so much stuff going on lately. You had the event at
Clive Daniel.
Clive Daniel,
Yeah.
and-
Where they have the best mints in the world. I
And
was
they
just
and
saying.
they had
Little houses.
the little houses. Yes.
and they had the first thing you saw when you go into Clive Daniel is a candle. It's $7,000 for the candle.
it was $500, but it was a big candle.
You could light it today and it'll still be going when your grandkids die. That's how big the candle was.
Yeah.
No, it was a very nice
They
place.
have
It's a
some
beautiful store.
beautiful,
Beautiful, beautiful store.
And you have a bazaar coming up, and you had an open house, and there's a lot of stuff going on.
Right.
Even though you don't have a building, still a lot of stuff going on
Yeah,
that people
we're-
need to know about.
Yeah, yeah. We're here. We're having, do you want me to talk about
Yes,
the art
talk
bazaar?
about the bazaar.
We're having an art bazaar down at Santini Plaza on March 16th from 9 to 3. And we will have a group of artists down there with their original artwork. They'll have framed and unframed artwork and some cards. And I think we'll have some silk scarves and some jewelry and whatever else our artists can come up with. So come on down and support us. We haven't been down at Santini Plaza since I think 2018 was the latest photos I could find, but we've been down there before several years. And the funds that we raise from the Art Bazaar benefit our student programs. So we've been running those all year with the Beach Elementary School. We've supplied projects to them, and we're having a scholarship. I don't if you have information on that, the student scholarship show. We've supported that for I don't know how many years since I've been a member, and I've been a member for probably 21 years.
Wow. You look so young. It's hard to believe.
No,
that
I'm
since
not.
Let me
you-
just ask you, at the bazaar, are people going to be doing like the plein air painting, or are they just going to be selling their existing stuff?
Basically, they're selling. I wouldn't be surprised if there weren't some that would be
Okay.
painting. It's not part of the plan right now, but
Painters
yeah,
paint.
they painters paint, and they bring their paints along with them. So you probably will see some of that.
So,
All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you about
the thing is, for the longest time, nobody was talking about Santini Plaza, and it's just ready to explode with all these things that are going on down there.
It looks great
Yes.
down there.
Oh, yeah.
I met with Sharon last week, and
manager,
she gave
yep.
me a little tour of what's going to happen down there. And the ice cream shop's going to be open when we're there, and
I
several
think,
of other places.
I think because I made it so difficult for the owners of the new businesses in Santini Plaza to come here, maybe one Saturday we'll just take
Go
the tent
there.
down there and do
Yeah.
the show with the different owners.
yeah,
So
come down with the art bazaar. That would be great. That's a Sunday though.
what is it? What
It's
is?
a Sunday.
It's a Sunday.
Well, the mayor quit the show anyway, so
yeah, well, yeah,
Yeah.
come down.
March
It's the day
16th.
after
16th on a Sunday.
the
Yeah.
parade. It's the day
the parade
after
is the 15th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
St.
Are you
Patrick's
are
Day.
you marching?
We are not marching.
No.
You're not marching,
They
yes.
don't.
I'm
they
going to be
wouldn't-
judging, right?
That's right. You'll
Yeah.
be judging.
I think we're going to try and have a group tomorrow.
Yeah,
In the
I
parade?
told my mom I wanted her to be in the parade, so I got to find her.
Yes, I would
the
like your mom to
three-wheel
be in the
tricycle
parade.
so we can decorate it up. Decorate it
I have
up.
quite a few ideas of what she could be in the parade.
She's
I'll
just
talk to you about
gonna
it after the show,
decorate
dear.
Up as a leprechaun.
Yes, great idea, leprechaun. So,
Let her talk about
Sorry.
the scholarship
Oh, this-
program at
yeah,
Cypress Lake.
Yes, on February 28th, which is next Friday,
Mhm.
from 5:30 to 7 p.m. There'll be a reception, and the student artwork. If you've never seen it, it's the seniors, and I think there's 13 seniors, and we'll be awarding $3,000 to 3 seniors for second and third prize art students, and the juror is Barbara Hill.
Barbara Hill.
Yeah, she's
Yes.
local, and Julie Nussbaum is going to assist her.
We know the
Perfect.
judges.
Those
And
are they're perfect
those students
choices.
are producing amazing work.
Mhm.
If any of the students are watching, I know both of the judges. So if you want to slip me a little 50 or something like that, I think I can help you
Stop.
out.
They're high school students.
Yeah, yeah.
What?
She's just assisting.
I'm sure she'll have some
Barbara,
influence. on-
Barbara Hill invited us to her house once
Mhm.
before the storm, and she lived on a canal. She had a
You know,
Yes.
I'm not
one
sure
of those
what-
mango
trees,
tree.
mango. What's it
Mango
called?
tree.
a mango
No.
tree.
No.
Oh, the big one in the front.
Yeah, she had what are
Oh.
the trees called? What's the tree at Fort Myers Beach?
Oh,
No.
she had
A gumbo limbo tree.
Gumbo limbo.
I can't
yeah,
believe you
those
didn't
are
remember
great.
that.
I know.
She had a gumbo limbo tree, and then she had those like 16-foot lizards in their backyard. You know, those giant green lizards. And
Yeah.
she had
On
everything
purpose?
going on.
no, I
And
think
she
they
had-
were invasive. Yeah.
No, and she had amazing art
Yeah.
on her wall.
Yeah.
She's an
Yeah, she's
icon
a
on this
sculptor,
beach.
I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
That's what
So,
Julie was saying.
anything else about the art association? How can
Um,
people become a member?
Oh, you can become a member anytime. We have a website, www.beach Fort Myers Beach.
So your
Art,
website only has 2 W's. www.
www. Three W's.
3 W's.
3 W's. You're trying to confuse me.
I am being an ass.
FortMyersBeachArt.com, and that's been our website for years and years
Yes.
and years. And you can go on there and find our calendar and find out everything that's going on. We love to have new members join us. We're actually a pretty active group. We've
Yes.
tried to stay active since our
Especially
building.
the last 6 months, you've been
Mhm.
wickedly
Yeah,
active.
well, we're working on it.
yeah.
And since the building collapsed, it's been kind of a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had a temporary location up at the church on Cypress Lake, but
I know when I came down there one time to look around when the building was up, there was actually a lot of people from Lehigh that traveled all the
Oh,
way
yeah, they
down
did.
to be part.
yeah.
So,
Oh.
far and wide. You don't have to be a beach resident to be a member.
Right. They come from all over the area. Cape
Far
Coral,
and
Lehigh.
Is there
Naples.
anything new to report about?
Anything?
We're looking for temporary space
Okay.
at this point in time. We still have the dream to build our building, but it takes time to accumulate all the funds for it.
Sure, yeah.
And
A lot of people
in the
trying to do that,
meantime, we
yeah.
want to stay lively and stay active and
It's-
support the arts.
Doesn't it? you don't have to answer any of my questions, but doesn't it seem like does Santini Plaza not have a spot for you or anything?
Not anymore.
Oh, they're full.
Yeah.
Except for a restaurant.
Yeah,
And that's,
we're looking at several different places, and a group moves slowly.
yeah.
So
But you're still doing things.
Now,
we're
is it just
we're doing
like painting, or is it sculpture people?
we're basically 2D. Our biggest groups we have indoor painters that paint indoors, obviously, different types of media, and then we have huge plein air or outdoor painting group that has grown, if you can imagine. Sometimes they have 20 some people from Naples, Cape Coral. They've come down from
the art gang.
Yeah. A lot of different places join us. So it's been amazing. Dana Enders is in charge of that, and she's done a fabulous job.
So recap again about the Art Bazaar.
The Art Bazaar, again, is on March 16th, Sunday, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Santini Marina Plaza. And it's benefiting our student art programs. And it's going to have all original art. We will have some cards that we allow not to be original, printed cards.
Sweet.
But other than that, it will all be original art. It'll be framed and unframed.
And the Blue Angels just flew right over. No.
And we take charge cards.
Awesome.
So don't worry about that.
Well, Michelle, thank you for coming on
Yes,
at the
you're
last
welcome so
minute.
much.
I know we
You're
asked you
welcome.
yesterday to come on to
Yes.
promote that. So thank you for coming
Well,
down.
thank you for promoting it and helping us
Absolutely.
to thrive.
All
We
right.
love
Thank
the
you
Art
so
Association.
much.
Big hand for Michelle from the Art Association. Thank you so much for coming on. All right, everybody. Remember, today is National Margarita Day. So instead of drinking Michelob Ultras, maybe have a margarita, Eddie. And our final sponsor of the day is the great Alex King. Everybody knows Alex King. But not only does he donate to all the projects on the beach, he can help you with your dream home because he creates dreams and he elevates lifestyles. Come live your dream right here on Fort Myers Beach by calling Alex King at 239-219-0336. That's 239-219-0333. Figure that one out. 0336. Thank you all for coming to Margarita on a nice Saturday afternoon. And we'll see you tomorrow at Wahoo Willie's at 10 o'clock for Councilman Scott Safford. Yes, we will ask him about Seagate. Absolutely. See you tomorrow, everybody. Bye-bye.